Welcome to the Raw Deal Podcast. We are your humble hosts, and by humble I mean hell yeah, guys! We went up 51 subscribers and got.
I'm hijacking this intro. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Raw Deal Podcast. It's the Duke of Derps here with my bros Brady and Charlie.
Guys, 51 subscribers and got.
What the hell?
That is the most janky intro I've ever heard in my life. No more Jack in the intro, man. They come for the thumbs that are catted.
That was the only intro I've ever jacked.
No, but seriously, we've gone up 51 subscribers today and counting. If you guys like Big Brother, please go view it. But this is a wrestling podcast. But yeah, we're almost at 4,000 views between our two videos posted today. So going well. But tonight we had an exemplary Raw. Two huge thumbs up, right? Two huge cat thumbs up from me.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Timothy.
It was good. Hello, Timothy. Hello. Man, it was just a good Raw overall, right? Just solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top to bottom. The only thing that was weird was they held the women until like 10 minutes before the final hour.
They can't have the main event.
It was weird. No, it was weird that the show was going by so quick for me and the women weren't on it. I don't know. It's just weird. And then they kind of crammed them in at the end. But that was kind of the only negative. But I thought their segment was good. So we start off the show with Roman Reigns coming out. He had a big SummerSlam announcement. And his SummerSlam announcement was he was announcing himself as the number one contender, no matter who wins or loses, come SummerSlam between Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar for the world title. Which it's bold, man. He's coming out. He's being bold and brash. Shout out to Squidward's painting.
Bro, this felt heelish, man.
It did. It's good.
I really loved how
he's treading the line, which is good.
Yeah.
And pretty much it was just kind of short-lived, but it's good to see this little heel side of Roman, right? And when we've been saying it, like he needs to just be more of himself, really, when he's out there. Maybe he's finally understanding that he's untouchable in this company. He can do whatever he wants. He's a bigger face than the company right now. He is the face of the company, and that's just how it is. He ends up getting interrupted by Samoa Joe, who's kind of pissed off that Roman's coming out here just declaring himself the number one contender, win or lose. Whoever wins or loses. Come SummerSlam, and basically Roman fires back at him, saying that Paul Heyman was right, and that basically Samoa Joe he's been disowned from the Samoans. Basically, he's not a real Samoan. That's kind of the stance that Roman Reigns has taken, which is pretty interesting because if you guys know, the Samoan heritage is something that's very there's a lot of tradition there in WWE. So what did you guys think of this segment as a whole, Garrett?
I mean, I didn't expect them to go back right to this right away. I figured this would get saved for maybe a Raw where they just needed it, either on the way up to SummerSlam or after SummerSlam. I don't know. I didn't think this would be a feud they would hint at and go straight to right away. I mean, I also think it's kind of dumb that he didn't actually announce anything, really, except that he was going to be in the main event again, which is going to annoy people, And it's at this point, he's doing the heelish things, but he's not a heel because he's going to be facing let's be real. It doesn't matter who he faces; they're both going to be the heel in the situation,
Well, that's true. We wouldn't. Well, I don't know if they play it up to where Samoa Joe is trying to earn the respect from all the Samoans. He could be seen as the face. Depends how they do it. I don't think Roman will ever go full blown heel, just like John Cena never went full blown heel. It's one of those things. Charlie, what do you think about if they do allow Roman to be the number one contender? No matter what happens come SummerSlam, do you think that kind of spoils that Lesnar is retaining? Or would you be okay with it? If Joe wins, do you think Lesnar could potentially go away and allow Roman to face Joe?
Yeah, I mean, it leaves the door open. It makes sense that you have Roman come out and announce this. I think, because he is their biggest guy, and he made it clear right with his last line, "I retired the Undertaker." That itself gives him more opportunities. Sadly,
Brock Lesnar did it for like 2 years. The one behind the 21 and one,
it's one of those things where you had later on in the night, we get a little more into this during their match, but this might not be the case, more or less. He said he's going to do it. He said he's going to face the champion at SummerSlam, but that might not be the end result with his.
Right. We have a face general manager. Kurt Angle could easily come out and say, "You don't call the shots, I do."
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily what's going to happen. He didn't say, "Oh, this came from the higher ups" or whatever. He just said, I am making myself the number one contender because it's my yard. Now I'm the big dog and woof woof and all that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Overall, decent segment. Set up a match later on in the night. They said it was going to be the main event of the night. They ended up putting it on going into the third hour, which I thought was interesting. But we'll talk about that a little later. We then had a match between Hardy Boys versus the Club. Hardys are just, to me, they're looking slower and slower every week, especially Matt. Jeff's got like one swanton a night in him, and I don't know. It looks like they're hurting, man. I don't ever want to like ask someone to retire, but if there was a tag team where I would ask them to retire, I feel like this would be it because they've lost their luster as the Hardy Boys, and unless Matt Hardy's going to go broken, which he's not going to anytime soon, I don't think there's much left for him, and I don't want to see their legacy be tarnished. Doesn't it feel like they're just like the Hardy Boys as a whole, their whole legacy? Doesn't it feel like this is going down a lot, Charlie?
Personally, no. I think they're still doing really well. I mean, okay. Jeff came out there tonight and he was hitting some stuff we don't see most of these guys hit still. They are getting old, they are getting slower, but I can always, get a little more love pumped into it by their characters, more or less, if they end up going a different route.
That's true, because they're still loved.
Never known as the best wrestler in the book. He's known as the best character, and it made his wrestling matches more interesting.
Well, Matt Hardy was always seen as the better technical wrestler, but I have to ask if Matt Hardy ends up kind of fading off, especially since he's not going to do the broken character. It looks like Jeff definitely has more gas in him. Garrett, could you see Jeff Hardy doing maybe a mid-card IC title run or something along the lines of those?
I don't think he'd do that because the last title he won before he left for TNA, I think, was the WWE Championship. So maybe see him go for a Universal title. Maybe he goes for a mid-card title before then just to legitimize him as a singles guy. But, I mean, because you can't – I mean, you can do the Broken Hardys, but I feel like if you want to do Broken Matt, if ever, it needs to be in a singles run of some kind because – I don't think the Broken Hardys will quite work. The same
oh god, yeah, like as a tag team in WWE, probably not.
Yeah, like
hey, they keep breaking up their tag teams. They're not going to freaking have any.
Well, it's true. It'll be like the third one they've done.
How many teams do they have now?
I know.
Champs.
We were just complaining. Let's just say we were just complaining a week ago that the Revival were not getting used because there were too many teams. So let's hold our horses before we go ahead and say this is all. We could probably lose another team and Raw would still be okay in terms of tag teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they only have 4 tag teams right now. So
yeah,
and SmackDown 7.
Well, SmackDown only uses about
definitely
3 of them.
seems beefier.
But SmackDown only uses about 3 of them, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So, the Golden Age promos, the Golden Truth, whatever this is, we got another Goldust promo. This is stale, right?
Yeah, at least he mentioned that they're going to see each other face to face next week.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that was the big thing. Goldust basically said, my debut feature, my movie's debut will be next week. If you accept, and R-Truth was like, yes, I'll be there. So, I don't know. I guess it's kind of nice to see there's a light at the end of the tunnel. They're just not going to do this for another 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm almost over the whole like bringing the old Goldust back. Like I almost wonder if like the way he should end his career is as Dustin Rhodes, like because that's who he started as, and why I mean maybe he really likes the character of Goldust. Maybe that's his thing now, and he's never gonna change. But you know, and I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. You know, it's what made his name.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I mean, I would like to see a Dustin Rhodes run. Maybe he loses this feud to R-Truth. R-Truth gets propelled maybe into the mid-card IC title scene or something against The Miz, you know, for like a month. And then, you know, I mean, I don't know.
Honestly,
yeah.
And
just
then
kind of throw my 2 cents. I think once this is done with R-Truth, he's done with the company.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think he's at that stage where they're not going to pump another feud into him. Goldust, on the other hand, I think they could pump another feud into him, like you were saying.
They could maybe get 1 or 2. They could get another year out of him or something. Maybe give him a good WrestleMania moment to leave on.
Yeah, but R-Truth, I don't. There's too much talent, man.
Yeah, he's got to be.
The guy. Yeah, I think he's like 43 or 44.
As in too much talent, just overtaking him on the pecking order, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, just tonight, we got a brand new big single star and big cast, so we'll get more into that.
We got 2 more big stars because Elias Samson tore the house down, bro. He comes out.
That guy's good, man.
Just, ladies and gentlemen, Elias Samson. He goes to sing. Guitar's out of tune. Goes to tune his guitar. Can I please have silence? I need complete silence to tune my guitar. Boo! And he's just sitting there tuning his guitar. And out of all people, Finn Balor comes out. This made Samson look huge. Did it not, Charlie?
Dude, Finn Balor's the first Universal Champion, one of the top guys on the roster. When it comes to that, hell yeah, it makes him look huge.
Like, it felt just big, right? I mean, are you down with this feud? We all know that Samson will lose, but are you down with a Finn Samson match at Great Balls of Fire, Garrett?
It might not. Oh yeah, go ahead.
well, I mean, like I don't know. It would be a good match. I feel like they're not going to put on a terrible match. Although, never mind. Maybe they might because you know between them there's like what 7 moves or something. But like, you know, that's what people say about Finn. Yeah, I've seriously been hearing a lot of complaints about Finn recently. I don't know about you guys, but I've been hearing a lot of people complain about him and how his moveset is.
I've been complaining about him the whole time.
Well, I know you have.
It's one of those guys. Once someone starts, everyone hops in.
Yeah, but anyway. I mean, I feel like they could put on a decent match at least. Mid-card match, obviously. I mean, it's sad to say that Finn's probably not going to be in the title scene for another few months.
But to counter that, one thing about Finn is no matter what happens to him, they can always bounce back. Your first ever Universal Champion.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So
he's never gotten his rematch, though.
Exactly.
He'll get it eventually. It's okay.
And, you know, I wouldn't say it's set in stone that Elias would lose. He hasn't lost yet, and Finn has been taking pins. So,
yeah.
Who knows how big they're trying to make Elias?
There's no way he goes over Balor. They have a match. There's no chance in hell.
The heels, they
no chance.
They need to build faces, dude. Look at all the top heels in the company and no faces. Which actually, the rumor came out. If someone wants to write this down, maybe Garrett, since you always make the lists. Wednesday, I really want to go in depth about WWE saying how there's a rumor that they've been keeping all their top baby faces off of TV more because they're afraid they're going to book them wrong and people are going to boo them. So
whatever.
Yeah,
there are a few names that I want to talk about on Wednesday, so that'd be good. We ended up with a Finn Balor versus Bo Dallas match after we came back from commercial break, and hey, man, it's good to see Bo.
Bo looked good. He slimmed down.
He was aggressive.
Big beard. He's changed up everything. He's not walking around in the white tights. He hasn't done that in a while, but
he didn't come out with a stupid picket sign.
Nope.
Believe in Bo.
Yeah, it was this is what he needs to be. He got offense in on Finn Balor. Like, and what's good is that this didn't make Balor seem like less because he's doing stuff with Elias Samson and Bo Dallas. It made the other 2 guys seem good. And I think that's because Bo Dallas came up to the level of Finn Balor. Even though Balor ended up winning, obviously. I thought Bo looked good. I don't even know if we talked about Bo Dallas really much on this podcast, Garrett. Are you a fan?
I was a fan of Bo when I saw stuff in NXT. I mean, any man that can springboard onto a ladder has got my respect. You know what I mean? Over somebody, over Neville even, you know. And Neville's taller for one of the cruiserweight type sized guys, you know. I wonder, I almost like this new look for Bo. Like when he was like skinny Bo in NXT, it was one thing, you know, he's a lot more athletic, but like he looks like a legit monster now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and he
could join up with his brother, and I'd be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, now they don't even need to do that. Now he's with Miz.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that more, but yeah, like, but I could see him being a part of a stable with that look, you know. Just
I remember,
the big guy.
Yeah. I remember Vince Russo saying like a year ago, maybe when Bo Dallas came out, he's like, Bo Dallas, he has like this baby fat to him. He's not fat, but he has like this dangly fat.
Yeah, he does.
And that's all gone, man. He's cleaned all that up, and what his gear that he's wearing looks better. You know.
What I thought was just interesting is this is a match, like this is a spot on the card where normally they would put on some match that killed the show for us, right? We had the opening segment. We had a hot segment, a hot match, some promos, which we're not crazy about the Golden Age promos, and then Samson, and then usually would be some god-awful match. Balor and Bo Dallas put on a way better of a match than they should have. And it kept the energy up for me, at least. It kept me interested in the show. You got to get through those rough patches. It's like if you got the peaks and valleys, if the valleys aren't so low, the peaks don't necessarily have to be as high to impress me. That's how it is for me.
I feel like they had like a really good match on NXT anyway. Like at some point, maybe for the title. I don't. What didn't that
Dallas and Balor? No,
I don't think
they weren't there at the same time.
They weren't.
No,
but I'm sure they've worked together at some point, whether it's house shows or something.
I'm sure
they've touched each other.
No, they haven't.
Balor got there with Nakamura. Like 2 years ago, a little over then, or 3 years ago now. But yeah, Dallas was there. Like he was OG NXT. So
yeah, Balor was one of their first big signings along with Kenta. So
yeah. So then we cut to a segment with Kurt Angle and Corey Graves and Enzo and Cass, and it was kind of just cutting into everything. So basically, Corey Graves did the whole like, oh guys, I gotta go. Kind of stood up and left the table again, which he's done a couple times now. And then it cut backstage to Enzo and Cass approaching Kurt Angle in the locker room. Kurt Angle, as soon as he saw me, is like, Enzo, why are you tweeting bad things at Conor McGregor? Which I didn't see the tweet, but it probably wasn't much. But pretty much they're just trying to get in on that Conor McGregor money for the super fight. And and so basically Enzo and Cass were like, no, we need to get to the bottom of who jumped us, you know? And Kurt Angle guaranteed us that by the end of the night, we would know who jumped Enzo and Cass. Which is like, you know what? This was the perfect week to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, finally, we're fresh out of Money in the Bank, so we know that all the lead up now for the next pay-per-view is Raw. We know that Raw has the next pay-per-view, so it's time to start paying attention to Raw. It's time to start seeing how pieces are going to fall into place. This is the perfect week to set it up, and they didn't drag this out so long to where we stopped caring about it, like the Golden Truth promos. It seemed like we're starting to figure out that Angle and Graves and Enzo and Cass, that all of these guys, all these storylines are starting to come together, which was very cool. At this point, what was going into your head, Charlie?
With just kind of everything?
Yeah, just Angle, Graves.
I'm thinking. It was hard because I was like, is it gonna be? Because, you know, once they're like, oh, we're going to crack the case, I'm like, all right, we got our obvious people, which I don't think it's going to be. So then my mind just kept all night. I was like, maybe it is American Alpha. Maybe Brady was right somehow. Oh, no. If you haven't seen the podcast for about 4 weeks, Brady's been saying, it's not American.
Kurt Angle, he's got the American thing, which would be cool.
And, you know, I'm like, holy shit. Excuse my language. It might be. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was just kind of running through predictions in my head.
You can
Maybe
cuss on here, just don't say fuck.
there you go. Maybe Goldust.
God.
MJM says you are pretty, bro.
Yeah,
What
what were you thinking, Garrett? God.
Garrett,
Huh? What? No, I was.
what'd you think about the whole segment?
Oh, man. Whatever. I mean, like, it was a setup, you know.
Right, this setup, and we didn't really know when in the night it was going to come, which was kind of cool. So, we had one of the best promos Seth Rollins has ever cut. I think it was unique. Seth Rollins came out basically to announce. Well, it wasn't really announcing. It got announced on ESPN early in the morning that Seth Rollins was going to be the cover athlete for the new 2K game, 2K WWE game. 2K.
Glad it's not a legend or anything again.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. And if you guys haven't seen the trailer for that game, the promo with Seth Rollins burns down the entire WWE corporate building. It's great. You need to go. You need to go watch it. It's just WWE is so good at these video packages, right? There's no one better. It's fantastic. Yeah. But he basically goes on to cut a pretty, as Garrett would say, white meat baby face promo. How'd you like it, Garrett?
I mean, I don't know if I'd even call it that. I mean, it's kind of like those kind of promos, but oh man. But you know, like I dig Rollins as a face, man. Like I thought it was gonna like sort of fade, like after this Extreme Rules match, even with the sub feud going on. I thought there's no way they'd keep him in the main spotlight. And then they dropped this on us this morning, and I was like, okay, they're pushing him. All right, this is gonna be Rollins' actual year. It's going to be his year again, the year of Rollins. I'm down. I don't know about you guys. I want to see Rollins in the main event scene again, and I don't think it has to be right away.
Same. He just needed to build his character up, which they're making steps for it, you know?
And if he doesn't get in the main event scene right away, anyone can work with The Miz. So, hey, Ambrose is hopefully done next, and, you know. Yeah.
Rollins versus Miz for the IC title.
And Miz can bring a lot out of someone in promos, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
The exclusion of the past.
Because he's actually a dick. Have you ever seen an interview with him? He's not like the Miz, but he's not. He's got an abrasive personality. Let's say that.
Rollins,
Big Brother. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Big Brother, go check out our stuff,
dude. Yes, please. So we had a cruiserweight match. Akira Tozawa versus TJP. When they went to go start this match, I knew that Titus Young was going to come out at some point. Titus O'Neil, not Titus Young. What the hell am I talking about? Titus O'Neil was going to come out.
Sounds like a wrestler because, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, whatever. Yeah. So I knew Titus O'Neil was going to come out because it's Akira Tozawa, and he's been trying to recruit him to the Titus brand. But it was like, okay, so Akira Tozawa is officially a face because he's facing heels now in TJP. We know that TJP can go in the ring. I was like, oh, I'm hoping for a really good match. And the match was solid. But the best part was before the match. Titus O'Neil comes out and does like his best Bruce Buffer impression and announces both of the superstars. And he kind of just like, hey, you know, the first ever cruiserweight champion, TJP. And then he's like, and in this corner again.
It was pretty good.
It was good, man. He's good. He got the crowd going on the and the Titus brand is officially a face brand, as we saw later on in the night. What do you guys think about WWE pushing Titus O'Neil as a face? It kind of just happened, Charlie.
You know, I have this weird feeling that Titus is not only going to manage faces, but he's also going to manage heels. And that's Titus brand has such an interesting dynamic. And for some god-awful reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's a good thing I'm interested, but I'm interested in it. So, you know.
Hey, that's the writer's job, right? To make you want to watch. Garrett, does it pique your interest?
I mean, like Charlie said last week on the podcast, something to the effect of, if they just keep making it out to be way bigger than it is, way bigger deal than it actually is, then it'll do well. and it'll give something for the kids to do. It'll give something for Apollo Crews to do. Tozawa won't just be to the back of the mid card or the cruiserweight division on 205 Live, you know, and he can start being on more Raws. And then you could probably bring in, I don't know who you can bring in as a heel, like an actually true heel, but you could probably find somebody.
I think what really stuck out to me, and it sucks that like this is the way I think of it, but if Tozawa officially joins the Titus brand, this will be the first non-racially charged stable that we've seen in quite some time.
Fair enough.
Like, they always just put people with the same skin tone together. This would be a big black guy and a little Asian guy being on the same team, and I think that's pretty cool. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Since what? Dolph and Big E? And even then, they weren't really seen as equals or anything. Dolph was definitely the one over the other, so I think.
Well,
and
cool. You also had AJ Lee at that time too, with Dolph,
right,
who was of some sort of Spanish descent, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah. So we had the R-Truth promo.
Yeah, that's really bothering me now that they have only racially charged stables. I'm just now thinking about it.
I'm telling you, dude. Name all the tag teams.
Man, I'm trying to. There's not one. Wow, dude.
Yeah,
it's sad. I mean, maybe it probably has something to do with like it's easier to look at or
racially
something.
Charged.
I guess you had a Samoan and 2 white guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd be reaching, but I mean, this is cool. It's a black guy and an Asian guy. Why not?
Yeah, I'm down. Make the Titus brand huge.
It's cool. It's awesome. So we had R-Truth accepted the challenge for Goldust. I don't care. I don't give any shits about next week's R-Truth and Goldust. I swear to God, if they give it like 30 minutes, I might shut off the TV. But do you guys have anything about R-Truth's specific segment? There's no way you do, right?
Yeah. Nah, it was repetitive.
But then the big thing is Bo Dallas is on the show twice. On this episode of Raw, The Miz comes backstage, basically tells Bo and Curtis Axel that they're worthless sacks of shit, and they can either sit in the back and what did he say? Have a match with catering to Curtis Axel. You can either have a match with catering or you can join my entourage. And they went to commercial with Bo and Curtis kind of contemplating whether they wanted to join his entourage or not. And Jesus, which actually I'll skip to it now, which led to the Miz TV, as Garrett puts it, Doghouse Edition. Pretty much the Miz. I felt really bad for the guy. Did anybody else feel genuinely bad for the Miz in this promo? Dude, come on. How did you not? Okay, so pretty much the Miz comes out. He's hired, 2 more dancing bears. Hello, whatever. And and he's refurbished that grandfather clock that he broke. Said how many sleepless nights he spent out in the garage fixing up this clock. He pours his heart out to Marie, says how much he loves her and how perfect they are for each other and how everything. And then Dean Ambrose comes out and completely ruins it. Trashes everything, makes Miz spill champagne all over Maurice. She gets pissed off and leaves again, and Miz is crying in the ring.
He spears the
at this point, and he also got thrown into the grandfather clock and broke it again. At this point, before anything else went on in the promo, what did you think about the promo, Garrett?
I don't know. It was less. I mean, it was less of a. I guess it was kind of like. I guess it was just too corny for me. Like, I don't know if I don't really like the whole romance thing in wrestling that much. Like, I think it's fine to have relationships be shown on screen because that's gonna happen. But like,
wait till you find yourself a wife that you think is perfect, and then you'll sympathize.
Yeah.
Or husband. I don't know. I've never asked you about that stuff.
No,
but
yeah. I mean, like, I don't know.
All right, hold on. Yeah.
What?
Jesus.
What?
Question the man's sexuality on the podcast.
Dude, I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying we've never talked about it.
You should have seen me in the chat earlier, dude. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly. With how the live stream went earlier with my Excel file, nothing would shock me, Charlie. Charlie, did you feel bad for The Miz, or was I the only one?
Hey, man, he is such a good actor, dude. That's all I was thinking. This entire time, I was just like, man, this guy's pouring his heart out. That's a good brother right there. That's all I'm going to say.
Good brother. He's a good
Gallows
brother.
and Anderson, he's a good brother. So,
Good brother.
you know, that's
He's
what
a grizzled young vet. He's a grizzled young vet. Go watch Talking Shop. It's great. So,
Talking Shop. Welcome to Talking Shop.
So then, after Maurice has left and The Miz is crushed, the Bears jump Dean Ambrose, and that's when we know what's up. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel have found something. They're on the main roster again, boys. They're the Miz's entourage officially. And I couldn't be happier.
We get a slow clap for him, boys.
All right.
It was a great day, man.
It was good,
Bo on
man.
the show 3 times, and he's with The Miz. To my point earlier, I just wanted, as soon as we kind of got into it just a little, there is no better person you could put Bo Dallas with right now, other than his brother. Yeah, we know that. But he's on the show.
I think
now
The Miz is better than
with the Intercontinental Champion, right? The 7-time Intercontinental Champion, and he's even if he's his cronies go a long way.
They do. And him and Axel already have experience with each other. They already know how to work tag team matches, which they're inevitably going to be in a bunch.
Like, it's going to be Legacy 2.0 or something. Like,
hey, whatever. as long as Bo Dallas ends up being Cody Rhodes and not Ted DiBiase Jr., I'm down with it.
oh. Dude, I don't know why everyone doesn't like Axel, man. I think he has got potential.
We cut to a backstage segment with Samoa Joe. Oh wait, did we miss the?
Did we miss something?
We missed. What was the segment that scared the shit out of me? Was it Finn Balor getting hit?
Oh yeah, I got that out of order, I think.
Okay, yeah. So Finn Balor ended up being backstage, just in an interview. It was just casually just talking, like, oh, so what do you think of this going on? He just starts answering, and Charlie, the backstage announcer, Charlie Caruso, she just let out the best, like, terrified scream I've ever heard. Just like a shock, like, ah! And it scared me, dude.
I was sitting here getting us ready for the live stream. Wasn't really looking.
I wasn't even really looking away either. All of a sudden, I just hear a scream and a bang. And
dude, that's scary.
Elias Samson is on top of Finn Balor, just beating him up. It sets it up more, but it was a good segment, man.
Who wants
they did
to
a really
walk
good
with
job.
Elias?
Dude, it was great. Fantastic. The first time he said it, I thought he said, "Who wants to walk with the Lions?" And I was like, all right.
That would be a better
That's
catchphrase.
That's his slogan.
Yeah.
We cut to a Samoa Joe interview, basically saying Roman Reigns ain't shit. He's gonna beat him up, and he cut to what happened last time he and Roman faced, which was Samoa Joe's debut match, which Samoa Joe won on Raw. And he said basically history's gonna repeat itself, and Roman's gonna lose. And that was kind of it. Joe's just really good, right?
They've been giving him a lot of promo time recently, and it's a good thing too because he's been tearing it up. I mean, like if you watch his, they start him off easy like they did with AJ Styles, but now he's just running with it, right? I think the same thing that happened with AJ Styles, man. I think it's that simple. I think when they and it's funny, it's these TNA guys that I'm sure everyone in the back's like, oh, there's no way they're gonna work on WWE TV. These guys are only popular over there because they were the only original talent, because they had all our guys. Now we have all of them. But we have the better guys that were here first, and they're like, "Oh wait, these guys are actually outclassing everything that our people are doing," and they're realizing it. That they need to put some push behind these guys, otherwise people are going to give up either on them or on the people in the back.
Well, look, Joe knows that if he doesn't deliver right now, then he doesn't have much time left to have these amazing feuds. He needs to make the most of his time because he spent so much time in TNA.
Oh yeah, there's no going back for Joe. He's in it now.
I still think it's the highlights of his career are going to stay in Ring of Honor, though. I honestly think that. Now this one will probably be on that list, and he'll probably have a few more added before. But by the time he's done, I mean, he's already had most of his top moments there. You know.
Oh, agreed. It's just he wants to get his good feuds out of the way now while he can. I mean, that's what Styles is doing. He's just going through feud, trying to get all these dream matches out of the way before he can't work at top level anymore, which I like. This brought us into the Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns match, which, like I said, it was going into the third hour. I thought this was really good that they didn't leave this till the end of the show. I was like, okay. At this point, we realized that they were going to end the show with the Enzo and Cass stuff. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. And the match was great, wasn't it, Charlie?
It was a little slow to begin with. I was a little not too interested. And it really, really picked up. And you know, that happens a lot with wrestling. And some of the best matches, they do start off slow. And it's not a bad thing. It's just when this match picked up, I was into it. And then we get this random ambulance noise.
Yep.
You know, and none other than a monster pop for Braun.
As soon as I heard the ambulance, I knew it was up. Garrett sends in chat. He just sends what? Or like he sent like what WTF? I was like, dude, it's Braun. It has to be.
When that popped, what were you guys thinking, man? When you opened those doors and that popped,
dude, he just smashed open the door and was standing there.
Oh, dude, I got so hyped,
dude. Ah, that's awesome. It was awesome. Samoa Joe puts Roman Reigns in the coquina clutch while he's distracted, and Braun Strowman's music hits. Braun Strowman comes down to the ring, gets on the mic. You must have forgot. I'm not done with you.
Oh, yeah.
Throws the mic on the ground.
And then he announces that they're going to have an ambulance match at Great Balls of Fire.
Well, he didn't technically announce the match if Roman accepts, which
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. There will be an ambulance match, which if you guys aren't familiar with ambulance matches, pretty much it's like the dumpster match that Braun was in with Kalisto, but it will be better because it's not with Kalisto. You pretty much have to get your opponent into the back of the ambulance and close both doors. So it's kind of like a last man standing match. The guy's just got to be pretty dead. And you just gotta, they're not going to pull a dumpster match where Roman chucks him in there real quick and closes it, and that's the end of the match, and Braun's still going. Like, the dude's going to be dead. So
imagine if he does that, just Braun just gets in the driver's seat, runs Roman Reigns over on live TV.
Now, I got a question for you. Earlier, I was kind of saying, we're not sure what's going to happen with this SummerSlam announcement now due to circumstances later in the show. If Braun Strowman ends up winning this feud at Great Balls of Fire, he could then make a case that, well, I want the Universal Champion now at SummerSlam.
He could, because
it was said
Roman was the #1 contender. They might make that match.
Was said, right? It was said right after he left, right? That when he came back, he was probably going to get a title shot, right?
I mean, yeah, it was rumored, but I mean, now we can go.
I thought it was said on TV. I thought it was by like Angle or something.
It was one of those. Yeah, it might have been explicitly stated. I can't even remember, to be honest.
Yeah,
it probably won't be right away. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It'll be SummerSlam, I bet.
I mean, so just on paper, Great Balls of Fire, the two matches announced are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It should be good. But
we said this about Money in the Bank, though.
This was exactly. Hey, man, Charlie liked Money in the Bank. I thought, and Rick liked it too.
It was okay.
So we skipped to Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews just being labeled as the Titus brand going against Sheamus and Cesaro. So this was what solidified Titus brand is definitely a face team at this point, which is cool. Sheamus and Cesaro beat them pretty quickly. Not much to say about this match.
When did this happen? I didn't even see this.
Right before the women's match.
No, you know what? I paused it during that Miz thing, and then I went live a little bit later, I might have skipped the entire match.
Probably.
It was only like 5 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah, yep, that's possible. I had that Miz match paused for that Miz segment paused, and that was a long segment, so it's possible.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
At all, I didn't know either one were on the show.
Yeah. So then, right after that match, we cut to the women. Finally, everyone was bitching on Twitter saying, "Wow, are they going to leave the women off? One night after a man has to win the Money in the Bank for a woman, you're going to leave the women off your card entirely." Blah 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 blah. But they got all the women involved. They announced it as a submission match.
Which, by the way, that would be a totally Vince McMahon move to just say, "Oh, you didn't like what I did with the women?
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you any women.
I'm just not. You're going to put them on the show." They announced a submission match between Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. Shortly into it, Alexa Bliss comes down to be on commentary, or so we think. She kind of is just like there for a second observing, and then ends up coming down to the ring. Emma comes over and confronts her, and they both run down to the ring. Nia Jax grabs God damn it, Alexa Bliss, puts her in front of her, and as she's handing her to Emma, go ahead, you kick her ass. Emma ends up kicking Nia Jax, getting Nia Jax disqualified, allowing Nia Jax to win the match via disqualification, which once again, submission matches are supposed to be non-disqualification, but whatever. And then it turns out that it's all a ruse, and the three of them just start beating up Sasha Banks. It was just a way for them to get down to the ring without having any help from Dana Brooke and Mickie James, which no one wants to see on TV anyway. Those two come down to make the save. Nia Jax keeps running house, and then Bayley's music hits. Pretty good pop. And I thought the women going on pretty much last in the night made them feel special. Is that how you thought, Garrett?
Special's not the word. I keep doing this to you. I don't know. You keep giving me a good word, and I'm just like, nah. But
go ahead.
Nah, I just feel like it's good to see them in the main event, but to not see them on the show at all. I thought they were going to try and start doing these sub feuds, and they abandoned that idea completely. I mean, and I don't know. I feel like there could be so much more out of all these women, but they just get pushed to a part of the card where they either have too much of a spotlight and no one knows how to, and they shove so much in it that no one can actually capture it, or they put it so early in the show that the only people watching are already tuning out by that point, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, with the way they've been booking lately, they're just throwing all 7 of these women together. Are they just going to have a fatal 7-way for the title at Great Balls of Fire?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll play it off as Bayley likes everyone, but she has to be the special guest referee in a 3v3 and a 6-woman tag.
God.
Yeah. Oh, my.
I could see them doing something.
Hey, Bayley off TV, though, for I think it was maybe a week or two. Coming back and getting a nice little pop. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. She's been on TV, but they just done the little promos and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was good. It was good to see her in the ring. I thought they did a good job. I don't think you have to have a bunch of different women segments. It's like the cruiserweights. Cruiserweights have 1 or 2 segments of Raw, and no one bitches about the cruiserweights not getting any time.
That's because they have their own show.
Well, I guess that's true. Fair
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. This cut to probably the best thing we've seen I shouldn't say in a while. We've had some pretty good stuff in WWE lately, but Kurt Angle comes out. First of all,
the Bear. That's all
Raw.
I'll say. The Bear.
What?
The Bear.
Oh.
We've had some pretty good stuff lately.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, hey, we're way past the Bear. Really, bro? You're officially gay? You like bears?
Whoa.
What?
I mean,
do you like bears? Do you got the hots for Braun
Strowman? I heard he's a furry, so let's just move on.
Oh shit, dude! Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that your handle on Twitter is Furry Garrett. So go follow him.
Garrett.
Go follow him. It's
great.
So Kurt Angle comes out, says he's cracked the case. Well, kind of, not really. Actually, Kurt Angle pretty much proved that he didn't know shit.
He didn't know.
He came out and called Enzo and Kaz out to the ring. At this point, it's like 11:05 when he calls Enzo and Cass out to the ring, and I'm like, well, are they just gonna? USA at any time could have just pulled the plug and been like, nah, screw you, dude. We're cutting your show. But he calls out Enzo and Cass, and then he calls out the Revival, and then he calls out the Big Show. So he goes through, and the Big Show explains that it can't be him. Gets a little bit of a feud going with Big Cass. That's probably what they're going to do at Great Balls of Fire. If I had to guess, is Big Cass against Big Show. Battle of the Bigs. Scares me a little bit. Yeah, I know. It could be rough. But pretty much they ruled out Big Show. Kind of. Later on they did. Yeah. The Revival got ruled out because the medical staff, like, they all had solid alibis. So Kurt Angle did crack the case in that it was not the Revival. And so at that point, Corey Graves stood up and he's like, well, if it's not the Revival, then I got some information. Well, he had information nonetheless. He said, hey, Big Cass, you said that you had a baseball-sized lump on the back of your head from getting knocked out last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And I have some footage that shows otherwise. And like a lot of people were suspecting, Big Cass framed the whole thing of him getting knocked out. He ended up being the one to jump Enzo from behind backstage. And he was the one that just did everything. And then he faked his own jumping, if you will. I thought it was great. If there was a way for them to go, I think this was the right way to go. And Big Cass cut a hell of a promo, didn't he, Charlie?
Oh, man. This guy, this is that stuff when you're like, a promo can make a wrestling character. And this did it for him, man. This heel turn was perfectly done. 4-week process. It gave us some mystery. And, you know, people were kind of getting tired of Enzo and Cass anyway. So, you know, it worked in that aspect. I have no idea what happens to Enzo from here. But, you know, this
he's got the sympathy card.
Cruiserweight division?
Enzo,
no, bro, he already said last week he weighed 206.
Oh.
Enzo busting out those tears just made it feel that much more real. And, you know, you like that in wrestling sometimes, man. You want it to feel real. Even though we all know it's, you know.
I mean, they're still going to be best buddies. It's just like all the stuff, like what's going on with Ciampa and Gargano down in NXT. You know they're still just best friends. And sometimes it's got to kind of hurt to know that they're in a program against each other and that they have to talk all this shit about each other. Same with Enzo and Cass right now. But it's going to be for the better. Right? Yeah, I mean, Garrett, where do you think it looks like we're going Big Show, Big Cass, but where do you think Enzo would be best fit as a manager, cruiserweight division, staying as a mid-carder, going against Ellsworth in a cross-brand match at WrestleMania?
That last one was rough. I mean, although if you're talking about two guys that on different brands are basically the same idea, you know. But I mean, I don't really know what you do with Enzo at this point. I guess he could kind of be a manager. Maybe you stick him with Big Show in this feud. I don't know. And then maybe Big Show abandons him after Cass beats him or something. I don't know. Like, so because, you know, the Big Show turns heel and face on a whim, you know. Like, I feel like they just tell him, if you want to go do a heel turn, just go and punch somebody. Like, you know. Like, not actually, but, you know. Like,
yeah.
I feel like there's no real good spot for Enzo. Like, cruiserweight division, he said he was 206, so I guess that's kind of out.
He could say he dropped the pound.
I said 1 pound to
Dude,
be in this division.
Hold on. What if they did a series of vignettes of Enzo doing like Rocky-style promos, trying to cut the 1 pound to get to 205 to get into the cruiserweight division?
You know, that would be creative.
Dude, that would be so good. He's like running around with like a sweatsuit on, and they keep showing him weighing in like 1 ounce less.
205.6.
He's trying to get down. He's working for that contract. There's like 1 week where like he like comes out and he's like, weighed myself this morning, 205 on the dot. And then someone comes out and like bribes him with cake. And he like can't help himself and eats a piece, and then he ends up at 205.1.
That would be good, man.
We should write for this show.
But no, this promo this whole segment was great. Raw ended really late, and it ended like 15 minutes past. I'm fine with it if USA is fine with it. But I don't know. Overall grades for Raw, I'm gonna give it a solid A+. I thought it was fantastic. I don't even know if I've given anything an A+ this far. But the only thing I didn't like was the Golden Truth stuff. I thought everything else was great, and I can't bring it down.
And that stuff is not usually bad. It's just we've had so much of it.
Exactly. I'm just sick of it. There wasn't anything too cringy except for maybe including the Bears again.
If you're sick, if you're sick, if you're sick.
Garrett, what do you have for your grade?
I'll give it an A. Solid A. Good show.
There you go. It was. Charlie?
I'm going to go A also, man. Just, we're all here. All of us, if there was a number scale, we'd all say 5 out of 5. And, I think that shows a lot how good the show was tonight. So
yep. It was fantastic. When you look at individual segments that really just developed people, Roman Reigns looks a lot better. Elias Samson, Finn Balor, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, The Miz, Samoa Joe, Titus Brand, and Enzo and Cass. Like,
all looking good.
It was all good. So we'll catch you guys Wednesday. Once again, if you guys like Big Brother or wrestling, this is the channel for you. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, hit that little bell icon. That way you can get the notifications when we go live, and you can participate in live chat like we've had some people doing tonight and earlier this morning. If you're waiting for the Big Brother videos, tomorrow we'll be releasing our video of our rankings, our Big Brother castmate rankings for the year. Charlie and I will. So keep an eye out for that. I think we're gonna have it drop probably like 10 a.m. or something. Sounds good.
Garrett hitting the dab. And, also, it's almost a hockey draft, so we'll be having some hockey stuff for you guys, too.
Stay tuned for that.
Got a nice little panel for that. So
Caps are the best team of all time. Go.
Yeah, you're a vegan. Bye.